There we go. Okay, so now what I want to do is change this menu. Back, that's where we should have been. And so to change the menu, I need to change this menu in such a way that it doesn't screw up the responsiveness. And the point of this whole exercise then is to refresh your memory about doing this inside of the reverse media query, which is essentially, instead of the max width being W total, it's min width being W total. Okay? And so the first thing is I don't want any background color here. The second thing is I actually need to remove the menu altogether. So instead of changing the color of the menu, which is what I did last time, so in order to remove the menu borders, what I need to do is this. Pardon me. It's interesting as I got this wrong here. Remove menu borders. There we go. Submenu A. This gets rid of all my menu borders, and I only want to get rid of my menu borders in the desktop view and not in any other view. So that's going to go here. Note how cool that is, where it just automatically goes and takes care of the indenting. And let's save that and take a look at it here. Okay, that's good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these into circles. And those circles are going to be 108 pixels in diameter. So I'm going to, it's essentially dot menu A, and then we are going to say padding colon, and it's going to have 47 pixels of padding on the top and bottom and 0 pixels on the sides, because we're going to set a height, a width. And then we'll say width colon 108 px. And then we are going to align the text center. So text align LIGN colon center. So I've got padding, width, text align center, and I think the only other thing I need is border radius. This is how you make the circle. Border radius colon 50% semicolon. And then we're going to put a margin between each one, so margin left colon 10 px. Okay, so the way this border radius works is if you use a border radius of 50%, as long as the height and width are the same, it'll become a circle. And I knew through trial and error that based on the height of my text and 47 pixels on top and bottom, that equaled 108. So that's how I got to this. If I save my custom CSS, come back over and refresh this. Now I've got these cool menu items that just kind of go across the top like this. It's going to fall apart over here because I don't have the structure set up everywhere. But if we come back over to this page and look at it in the Responsinator, it didn't have any effect on the responsive menu whatsoever. Right, this is one of the biggest issues you end up dealing with when you're making a responsive site, is how to cope with creating responsive CSS that doesn't screw up the menu, that doesn't screw up, regular CSS that doesn't screw up the responsive CSS, especially stuff that was really written to be responsive, like this menu. And that's what this negative media query is all about. It gives you the ability to specify CSS rules that will not apply, and then you don't have to overwrite them, down here, because we could overwrite everything, but that doesn't make any sense because there's tons of code associated with that nav menu. So we're better off putting the nav menu modifications in something that's simply not going to fire or not be applied to a mobile device. And that's why we've got the exclusive or the negative media query here. It's essentially the media query that's only going to show on the desktop view.